From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Today is September 28th, and this is the Fbx Evening News. Our lead story tonight, it's the weather once again.
That's right, Daryl. The National Weather Service has issued a winter storm warning for the Fairbanks area, and here's our weatherman Mike Schultz with more.
Thanks, guys. Well, everyone, here we go again. Last Friday we got 5 inches of snow. Now there's an even bigger threat beginning late tonight. There are 2 ingredients to this developing event. The first is a strong cold front moving in from the west. At the same time, an area of low pressure is expected to develop in the Prince William Sound area and sit there into Wednesday. What this will do is throw moisture over the cold air coming in from the west, setting up ideal conditions for heavy snow. The National Weather Service says snow amounts will really add up, and at the same time, the school district says they want parents to know they are preparing for the storm also.
And we expect accumulations in the Fairbanks area to run from about 6 to 12 inches. And it may not just favor the hills, it could be just by various locations. The other concern is that the Parks Highway is also a favored area as you move towards Denali Park. So south of Nenana into the Healy and Denali Park area, there could be accumulations of 12 to 18 inches through Tuesday and into early Wednesday.
And what we'll do is we'll post information on our district website. If we do cancel school, parents will receive an automated phone call in the morning. So that's only if we cancel school. If we do not plan to cancel school, just keep an eye on the district website and to look for those alternate bus stops.
Royal Dutch Shell announced late last night that it is ceasing exploration in offshore Alaska for the foreseeable future. Oil industry supporters and Alaska leaders say the decision hinted at earlier in the month could have far-ranging impacts for the state. Alaska's U.S. senators reacted with frustration and disappointment, while some individual Alaskans and conservation groups welcomed the news. Governor Bill Walker held a press conference at midday today to talk about the announcement. He said he has asked for a meeting with Interior Secretary Sally Jewell about the situation.
An opportunity I will be in her office to really emphasize again the importance of putting oil in the pipeline. We're an oil dependent economy, and we need to do everything we can to put oil safely put oil in the pipeline. I've talked to them in the past about the 1002 section of ANWR, which 1002 section is 8% of ANWR. Really, if we could develop just the western half, now we're talking 4% of ANWR. We need to get some oil in the pipeline.
Jury selection began this morning for the ex-tutor accused of sexually abusing a 15-year-old student. 35-year-old Claude Falks has been in jail for nearly 2 years now, awaiting trial. Falks was arrested in March of 2014 after a student at Hutchinson High School came forward saying he was repeatedly sexually abused by the then tutor. Court documents outline the numerous occasions the student said the two had sexual contact on school grounds, including inside of the classroom. Shortly after Falks was arrested, another alleged victim came forward claiming he also was assaulted by Falks. Falks has denied the claims of abuse from both victims, and he is currently facing 6 sexual abuse of a minor charges. The student's family sued the school district for negligence and reportedly settled outside of court for just shy of $1 million. Jury selection is anticipated to take a few days in the case, and opening arguments are scheduled for midweek.
After multiple setbacks, a man accused of attempted murder was in court this afternoon for day 1 of a 2-day sentencing hearing. Bradford Faircloth has been in jail at Fairbanks Correctional Center since 2013 after being accused of brutally attacking his wife inside of their Fairbanks home. Faircloth was charged with attempted murder, assault, and a host of other charges. During today's proceedings, one of the forensic nurses who examined the victim was called to the stand. She recounted treating the victim's extensive injuries, including cuts, abrasions, and numerous bruises. The victim told FMH staff that Faircloth had beaten and strangled her in front of their children and on top of broken glass, leaving her with cuts up and down her backside. Superior Court Judge Paul Lyle will decide Faircloth's sentence after tomorrow's hearing. He is facing up to 20 years in prison.
All right, when we come back, Monty Bowen will have a complete recap of those individuals running for borough mayor.
Also, the Fairbanks Concert Association is starting a new program that they hope will encourage people to write letters. We'll have all the details when we return. Stay with us. And welcome back. The 2015 municipal election is October 6th, when voters will pick a borough mayor, assembly, school board, gas utility board, and city council members. Monty Bowen reports on the 4 people seeking the borough mayor post.
Luke Hopkins, the current borough mayor, could not run again for the post because of term limits. On the ballot this time are Carl Castle, Corey Jackman, Robert Shields, and Tammy Wilson.
I love our community, and we've got some challenging times coming in front of us, financially especially, and I think I know I'm up to the task. I've been in a lot of leadership roles over the years, and I have the experience from the private sector through the public sector.
I was frustrated with the current situation of hearing the same thing year after year after year about wood stoves and wood smoke, and also frustrations with when the current administration, how they're dealing with the marijuana industry.
Felt the call of civic responsibility to give a voice to issues which weren't being addressed, like food security and zero waste and energy independence, and the economic prosperity they can bring to this town that desperately needs economic diversification.
I'm running because I've just been watching the last administration and seeing more and more regulations, higher and higher taxes. So it's pretty ironic that it seems like they keep making us pay more, but yet they just turn around and then tell us what to do with it.
Each had a different reason for running.
Well, the top priority obviously is the budget. In the last 4 years, we've seen an increase by over $20 million. We're a second-class borough. We have very limited powers, but yet we continue to see the administration put on more and more. And I don't think that's what we want here. We want to see less government. We want to be able to be responsible and live next door and treat each other like neighbors versus government telling us what to do all the time.
My top priority is going to be finishing what I started as an advocate, and that is getting the ball rolling with turning our schools into power plants. Solar, we have a lot of. Talk to Rich Seifert, talk to Renewable Energy Systems. They run some good ads on it. But it is low-hanging fruit. Solar is a very plug-and-play technology. The projects that are being done through the Community Power Network and other such as, organizations, they can be brought online in 18 months.
My first priority, in light of the $10 million refund from the pipeline valuation, I would like to return the money to the taxpayers in the form of a check immediately.
I want to start trying to build a better sense of community in our community and have people working together. We're far too polarized, and it's a problem in our society in general, from the national level, state level, and our local level, where we're getting more and more extreme in our politics.
The polls will be open from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. October 6th, and we will bring you live updates throughout the evening and during News Center Final that night. This is Monty Bowen reporting.
Fairbanks Concert Association is asking the community to help in a new project that is kickstarting this year. Letters Aloud is a joint project between FCA and the University of Alaska Fairbanks. Now, the project is seeking folks from across the community to write letters. Those letters will address someone who may follow in your footsteps. Executive Director of FCA, Ann Bieberman, says everyone has a story and this is a way to share it. She says folks who say, "I wish I knew that," are the ones they want to hear from. From elementary students to local dignitaries, everyone is encouraged to pen a letter and share what they have learned in their lives that they think could help others. Now, the letters will eventually be showcased at UAF, and some will be read aloud to an audience.
It would be wonderful if you would write a letter to somebody who's going to follow you into that position. If you're in second grade, nobody knows more about first grade than you do. You're the expert. Write and tell them. You know, if you're newly in the Pioneer home, this is a big transition. What would you tell somebody who is going to follow you into the Pioneer home? If you are a military spouse, what do you wish you'd known before you were posted up here? We want to hear from you.
Okay, Joe Cook is up next with the weekend recap in local sports.
The Nanook hockey put on a show in the annual Blue Gold game, and high school teams competed in regional competitions.
Those stories and more with Joe after the break.
Welcome back, Interior sports fans. It's time for the weekend recap on local sports. I'm Joe Cook. Saturday night, the Alaska Nanook hockey team returned to the ice to start a new season. The annual Blue Gold game went down inside the Patty Center Ice Arena as UAF fans and Supporters got their first look at this year's team and witnessed the return of defenseman Justin Woods, who made his triumphant return to hockey after winning his battle over immune sarcoma. Blues scored just 5 minutes into the game as freshman John Mullally introduces himself to Natick Nation with a crazy 5-hole goal. John Keeney, 7 minutes later, senior Nolan Heisman buries a goal on his breakaway opportunity. It's 2-0 Blue at halftime. Heisman showed his goal wasn't a fluke, winning the hardest shot competition with a shot that went 105 miles per hour. Assistant captain Alek Hadukovic won the fastest skater competition as well. In the second half, neither team scored as David Jones and freshman Jesse Jenks made 13 saves each, but Blue shuts out Gold 2-0. Alaska will look to build off of their first time on the ice as they host Mount Royal on Sunday, October 4th at the Carlson Center. In high school football, the Allison Ravens enjoyed a rare Sunday football game at home. The defending small school state champions took on the Houston Hawks. Allison had to rally a bit in this one as Houston led 7-0 early on, but after a short Caleb Velez touchdown run to put the Ravens on the board, Allison, man, they started to cook. They led 20-13 at halftime, and then the defense took over in the second half. The Ravens forced 3 turnovers and held the Houston offense to 17 yards. Dylan Scarborough had 3 touchdowns for the Ravens, catching passes of 25 and 29 yards. Antonio Griffith also accounted for 3 TDs for Allison. Scarborough puts the finishing touches on this one with a 20-yard fumble return for a score. Allison wins the Aurora Conference title with a 42-13 victory over Houston. Since the Ravens were the only interior team with a win after Week 7, it's reflected in the Week 8 ASBN polls. Bartlett, West Anchorage, Colony, East, and Diamond are the top 5 in the large schools polls. Number 1 Bartlett will play at number 2 West this weekend. And the Patriots, they will face number 3 Colony. North Pole is out of the top 5 in the small and medium schools polls for the first time this season. But Allison retains their number 2 ranking behind number 1 Soldotna. Kenai is 3rd, then Nikiski at 4, and Juneau takes the 5th spot. Regional titles were on the line over the weekend in high school cross country and tennis. The West Valley Wolfpack had a very successful weekend. The West Valley girls cross country team captured the Region 6 championship, while the Lathrop boys, they edged West Valley for this year's region title by 3 points, 27-30. Also, the Galena Hawks swept the cross-country 3A championships as well. And in tennis, the West Valley program won the region title to end their perfect regular season. We'll have more on these championships, including reactions from players, in Tuesday's Sportscast. The West Valley Wolfpack and Lathrop Malamutes both finished in the top 3 at the West Anchorage Spike-tacular tournament over the weekend. West Valley placed 3rd in the gold bracket. They fell to host West Anchorage 25-23, 19-15, 11-15 in the quarterfinals. The Wolfpack had a 9-3 pool play record. Lathrop finished 3rd in the silver bracket. They lost to Sohai 11-25, 19-25 in the semifinals after winning their quarterfinal and going 5-7 in pool play. The Malamutes and Wolfpack will face each other on Wednesday night for the first time in a regular season Mid-Alaska Conference matchup. And we wrap up the weekend recap with the I-5 interior top 5 plays. Check them out.
At number 5, North Pole's McKinley Putnam puts on a block party as she was credited with 19 blocks to go along with 18 kills in a 4-set victory over Lathrop on Wednesday. Number 4, West Valley's Brandon Van Landingham throws down the hammer late in the match as he and partner Brian Ely defeat Lathrop's Sam Greenberg and Jake Brazilius in a tiebreaker for the boys doubles regional title on Saturday. Number 3, Dylan Scarborough scores a career-high 3 touchdowns, 2 catches for scores, and a fumble return on Sunday as Allison captures the Aurora Conference title with a 42-13 win over Houston. At number 2, Jenna DeFalco wins her 3rd straight Region 6 cross-country title on Saturday, finishing in 20 minutes 39 seconds, leading the Wolfpack to this year's team title. And at number 1, UAF Sam Hartoon moves into 2nd place all-time on Alaska's career kills list after her 15-kill performance against rival and number 11-ranked UAA on Tuesday night. To vote for the play of the week, click on your favorite play on the I-5 poll on webcenter11.com. You can also comment on the KTVF Facebook and YouTube post and at KTVF11 Sports on Twitter for your vote. The play of the week will be revealed this Friday.
The I-5 Sports Report is brought to you by Adient Orthopedic Physical Therapy.
And that's it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is next with an important weather forecast. And as always, we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into weather for a Monday night on the Fbx Evening News. Mike Schultz with you, and we're going to be talking about that storm in just a little bit. Real quickly, we'll get our photograph and show you our photograph today. This one was sent in by Trent Berklid, and flowers say hello to winter. That's all that snow that fell last week. and the flowers still hanging around. They're going to be covered tomorrow because this is a very big snow situation we have developing right now. Real quickly, our numbers look like this. Today's high was 49. The low last night, 31. The record high, 69 in 1934. Record low, 11 in 1909. Sunrise and sunset about 11 hours and 52 minutes, a loss of 6 minutes. And again, a winter storm warning is in effect for late tonight, right on through late Tuesday. 6 to 12 inches of snow for the Fairbanks and Delta regions, 14 to 20 inches of snow for Healy, and of course travel will be difficult. We'll keep you advised on that. Our latest satellite and radar, you can see all the flow of moisture coming up from the southwest, continuing to feed in. This is what's called a low pressure trough. It's a big dent in the atmosphere, helping to bring cold air down from the north and helping that to mix with the warmer, moist air coming in from the south. As this area moves in over the interior, the cold air will once again be taking place, but the area of low pressure will be developing around the Prince William Sound area right about here. That's already starting to see signs of that coming up, and that will help to spin moisture over the top of us like we were talking about earlier and give us a really good opportunity for lots of snow. Our latest radar, as you can see, again, a lot of moisture moving up from the southwest, continuing to flow across the Fairbanks area. There's the cooler air out to the west, starting to work its way in, and they're all going to come together later on tonight, early tomorrow morning, to give us that heavy snowfall. Elsewhere across the state, over southeast Alaska, the rain is falling there quite heavily. Temperatures in the low 50s. It's nice in Anchorage right now, but that'll be changing rapidly too. Showers around Kodiak, also showers along the Aleutian chain, up and down the west coast. Temperatures cooling down, 36 degrees at Nome for the high there, 30 degrees at Barrow with cloudy skies also at Fort Yukon. Lower 48 weather looks like this, lots of sunshine over the Pacific Northwest, and again, temperatures over the 100-degree mark for Las Vegas and Phoenix. A nice day in Denver, 80 degrees there. Warm temperatures again around Texas, 90 degrees at Dallas. Not too bad in Minneapolis. Thunderstorms rumbling all over the deep south, and that's all in response to an area of low pressure that's sitting across the Gulf of Mexico, helping to bring all that rain into the area. Also rain over the northeast and thunderstorms over the southeast. And here's that area of low pressure. You can see it really winding up, counterclockwise flow, bringing all that moisture off the Gulf of Mexico and training it across much of the southeast, bringing them lots of thunderstorm activity. Things are still pretty dry and, for the most part, cloud-free all over the Pacific Northwest, some showers across the deep south. Now, the heaviest rainfall tonight will be, once again, as you can see, right on through Wednesday, a big band of heavy rainfall up to 3 inches in some areas, stretching from right around the Cincinnati area all the way up to the northeast across Bangor, Maine. And the overall jet stream is really taking some wild dives and ups and downs, as you can see here, really going strange. And then everywhere you see it bottom out and then come back up again is an area where they're going to have rain and very heavy moisture, and that'll be moving also across the eastern half of the country. Well, once again, it's time for our kids' weather. The kids were off from school today, so we're going to give you a weather fact. 1988, Kansas City, Kansas had so much rain that fell in a 4-hour period. Cars were stranded in 6 feet of water. And as always, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather. And we'll pick it back up again tomorrow with we'll spend some rest of the week with the class from Barnett Magnet School. We look forward to that. So our forecast for the rest of the state looks like this. Over the northern sections, partly cloudy in Barrow and Nome, 4 to 12 inches of snow expected for Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, again, looking at lots of snow, 6 to 12 inches for Fairbanks and Delta, 14 to 20 inches in the Healy region. Over southeast Alaska, very heavy rain expected from Juneau right on down through Ketchikan. Over the southwest part of the state, looks like showers for Cold Bay and Kodiak, mixed showers for Bethel. And over the south central regions, again, looking at a lot of rain and snow, actually snow becoming about 2 inches for the Anchorage Bull area, with rain and snow at Homer and heavy rain for Valdez. And our forecast for the remainder of the night, again, we're looking at snow developing by early morning, heavy at times, 32 degrees, the overnight low. Tomorrow, heavy snow throughout the day, 6 to 12 inches, and the extended forecast to see temperatures slowly warming back up slightly by Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, even into Sunday. And again, the snow should be tapering off by Wednesday, but until then, it looks like it's going to be really, really ugly. But we'll keep you advised of what's going on there.
Okay, thank you, Mike. That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, is water discovered on Mars evidence of extraterrestrial life? That's up next with Lester Holt.
All right, be sure and tune in tomorrow morning for school bus updates and other storm information with J.R. Lewis.
That's right. From all of us here at the News Center, we hope you have a good night.
Good night.